Doomsday Wars, the reckoning begins. The sky cracked open. The sun rose like any normal day. Children went to school. Cars moved through traffic. People scrolled their phones and sipped tea. Birds flew across a calm blue sky. Then, everything changed. A loud, low hum echoed through the sky. It was like the earth itself was groaning. People looked up, and the clouds began to twist unnaturally. The sky cracked. It didn't shatter like glass. It folded, bent, like something was pulling space itself. A ripple moved across the sky, and then light burst through it like a broken mirror of stars. Earth's orbit shifted. Satellites dropped. Tides crashed into cities. Gravity warped. Planes fell from the sky like flies. Entire coastlines disappeared underwater. Within hours, over 10 million people were gone. Governments tried to explain it. They said it was a solar event. They blamed a gravitational anomaly. But those were lies. Because what came next was worse. Deep under the ground, below deserts, forests, oceans, something woke up. Massive machines, shaped like towers and insects, pushed through the earth. They were not human. They were old, older than any human civilization. Black metal, glowing red eyes, moving with perfect, silent purpose. They didn't speak. They didn't warn. They just started hunting. In the first day alone, 5 major cities vanished. Not destroyed, vanished. 1 second they existed, and the next, they were gone, erased by beams of white light shot from the machines. People screamed, fled, cried, but no one could fight back. Bullets didn't work. Missiles didn't work. Even nuclear strikes couldn't damage them. The machines moved through fire, water, and walls like ghosts. But they only attacked humans. Animals, plants, and buildings were left untouched. The machines were judging us, and the verdict was death. On the 3rd day of global collapse, the signal activated. It was hidden deep in Earth's satellite network, silent for thousands of years. But now it woke up. Around the world, computers locked down. Every major system received one message. Project Doomsday activated. Human code detected. Begin final protocol. People panicked. Some screamed that the world was ending. Others thought it was a joke. But the ones who knew, the people in power, they went silent. Because they had always feared this day would come. Far from the chaos, in the frozen lands of Antarctica, a young scientist named Dr. Azan Malik was studying strange magnetic pulses. He was calm, smart, and deeply curious about ancient Earth signals. Azan didn't trust governments. He believed Earth had secrets, deep secrets. Now one of those secrets was waking up. For months, Azan had studied unusual energy signatures coming from under the ice. But in the last 48 hours, those signals had become something more. Clear, powerful pulses like a heartbeat. With no communication from the outside world and satellites down, Azan took matters into his own hands. Along with his small research team, he loaded a snow crawler and headed toward the source. As they moved across the ice, the sky above them flickered red and orange. Fireballs rained down in the distance. Something exploded far off near the coast. But Azan didn't stop. He had to know what was under the ice. The signal led them to a remote mountain of pure white. Azan's sensors detected an artificial entrance beneath 200 meters of frozen rock. They drilled for 5 hours. The temperature dropped. Winds howled. One crew member almost died from frostbite. Then they hit it. A loud metallic clang echoed through the tunnel. Ice cracked. Steam hissed. And then a hidden doorway slowly opened by itself, sealing them off from the freezing wind. Inside, it was warm. They stepped into a tunnel unlike anything built by humans. The walls pulsed faintly with blue light. Strange symbols floated across metal surfaces and the air felt alive. "This isn't a bunker," Azan whispered. "It's a machine." As they moved deeper, gravity felt weaker. Their flashlights flickered. One of the researchers threw up from the pressure changes. At the end of the tunnel was a massive door, curved, with ancient markings glowing gently in the dark. Then it opened on its own. Inside was a huge circular chamber. At its center floated a black cube, spinning slowly, suspended in the air. Around it, strange machines were frozen in place, as if waiting for something. The walls showed carvings of planets, stars, machines, and people. But the people looked strange, tall, sharp-featured, with glowing eyes. Then Azan saw something else. In the far corner of the chamber, half covered in dust and crystal, was a pod. It looked like a sarcophagus, but made of energy and metal. Azan approached carefully. His hand trembled as he reached out. His fingers brushed the surface. The pod lit up. Blue light poured from its edges. The walls began to hum. The cube spun faster. Suddenly, a deep voice echoed in the chamber. It was not spoken. It was inside their minds. Human Cody Co and FIR MD. Initiating NEMOR. Awaken. The pod opened. Inside was a body. But it wasn't human. Its skin was gray and metallic, like armor and flesh combined. Its chest slowly moved, breathing. Its eyes were closed, but glowing under the lids. Everyone froze. Then its eyes snapped open, bright golden light shining from them like suns. Azan stepped back, heart pounding. The being looked at him. And then it spoke. You have awakened the reckoning, the forgotten protocol. The truth about Earth's origin has been buried for 10,000 years. And now it's breaking free. The ground shook beneath Antarctica's frozen surface as the ancient vault opened, steam hissing out like a dragon exhaling its last breath. Azan's team, 6 of Earth's best, stood frozen, weapons ready, staring into the black void that had just revealed itself. No one spoke, no one breathed. Inside, deep within layers of frost and alien metal, a strange figure lay suspended. It was half man, half machine. Its skin was pale silver, stretched over bones and gears. Wires ran through its arms like veins. Its chest moved, barely. It was alive. Barely. Dr. Mira Rafik stepped forward slowly, her voice trembling. This isn't human," she said, pointing at the glowing runes on the wall. "These markings, they're Sumerian, 10,000 years old." Azan's heart pounded. But how can that be? Sumerians never reached Antarctica. The vault responded, a low hum vibrating the walls. The being inside stirred, its eyelids twitching. Suddenly, its lips parted, and it spoke in a deep, guttural voice. "Aina Duku Esbar." Mira's face turned pale. It said, "You have triggered the reckoning." Every screen on Earth flickered. Then, a single message played across all nations, languages, and channels. The president of the Unified Earth Council appeared, eyes dark, lips tight. "We've hidden the truth for too long," she said. "Earth is not what we thought it was." She took a deep breath and continued. 10,000 years ago, our ancestors were prisoners, cast to this planet from a civilization far older than we can imagine. Earth was designed to be a prison, and the machines, what we now call judges, were left behind as guards. People all over the world froze. Some screamed. Some fell to their knees. Riots erupted in major cities. Fear spread like wildfire. The president continued. "We were never meant to survive this long, but we did. We grew. We evolved. And now, the time has come. The reckoning protocol has begun. The judges have awakened, and they are executing their final command." The biomechanical being opened its eyes, golden, glowing with an unnatural fire. "You have awoken the final trial," it said again. The words echoed in the chamber, carried by some unseen force that made Azan's bones tremble. Mira stepped closer. "Who are you?" she asked. The being looked at her, head tilted. "I am Ashimur, keeper of the last protocol, designed to guard the trial until the day of human awakening." Azan clenched his fists. "What trial? What awakening? Are you here to destroy us?" Ashimur's face was unreadable. "That depends on what you do next." Suddenly, the chamber walls lit up, displaying ancient scenes, planets burning, stars collapsing, alien cities crumbling into dust. Then came images of Earth before civilization, and of ships falling from the sky. Mira gasped. "These are memory imprints, records." One scene showed hundreds of humans being dropped onto Earth by massive carriers, each one branded with the same symbol now seen on the judge's armor. "They weren't colonists," Azan whispered. "They were criminals. Exiles." Ashimur nodded slowly. "Earth was the last cage, the final planet where your kind was left to fade." High above, a judge flagship hovered in silence. Inside, a tall humanoid machine stared down at the planet. Its glowing red core pulsed in perfect rhythm. "Protocol 0 has been breached," it said. "Initiate extinction sweep." Dozens of smaller craft launched from the mothership, heading toward key cities around the globe. Tokyo, Cairo, Islamabad, Paris, and more. The reckoning had begun. "We have to stop them," said Azan. "Tell us how." "There has to be a way." Ashimur's eyes dimmed, and it slumped slightly. "There is one path, but it is hidden, locked behind what your ancestors left buried. A forgotten protocol, deep under what you now call Eden Prime." Mira's eyes widened. "The ruins in Iraq." Ashimur nodded. "There lies the seed of your redemption, or your final failure." Suddenly, alarms blared on Azan's communicator. "Sir, we've got incoming. Judge drones. Hundreds of them." Azan turned to his team. "Evacuate. Get back to the aircraft now." Ashimur raised a hand. "If you want answers, I must come with you." Mira hesitated. "We can't trust it." "We don't have a choice," Azan said. They helped the being to its feet, its metal limbs creaking as it stood. Despite its alien body, there was something human in its eyes. Sadness, memory. Outside the vault, snow whipped around as the black drones descended like a plague of locusts. Lasers fired. Explosions erupted across the ice. Azan's team ran, dragging Ashimur with them. One of the soldiers, Reyes, was hit in the leg. He fell, screaming. Azan turned back. The others yelled at him to leave, but he ran and grabbed Reyes, throwing him over his shoulder. A drone locked onto them, a red beam narrowing in. Suddenly, Ashimur raised its arm. A pulse of blue energy blasted the drone from the sky. "You fight for your kind," it said, "even in death. That is unexpected." As soon as they returned to their hidden base, located deep beneath the ruins of old Berlin, Azan slammed his fist on the table. "We've been lied to our entire lives," he said. "All our wars, all our progress, and we were just survivors of a forgotten exile." Mira placed a hand on his shoulder. "But we survived. That means something." Ashimur stood in the corner, silent, watching, listening. It finally spoke. "There is something you must understand. The judges were not just machines. They were made from you, grown from the DNA of the most dangerous minds your creators ever knew." Azan turned. "You mean they're human?" "Once," said Ashimur. "Now they are something worse, something that remembers what it was, and hates what it became." Mira's voice was quiet. "Then it's not just a war, it's judgment." Ashimur walked slowly to a console at the center of the base. It placed its hand on the surface. The screen lit up, revealing ancient maps, coordinates, and a blinking red icon labeled Trial Site Alpha. Suddenly, the lights flickered. On the screen, a new message appeared. The Igainail trial is begun. Ashemur looked at Azan. You have 3 days. Pass the trial, or Earth will be burned. The screen cut to black. The last arc. A spaceship buried under the Himalayas might be Earth's only escape. The storm of fire still burned the skies above. Alien ships hovered like vultures, tearing apart cities, forests, and oceans. But deep below the chaos, hidden inside a tunnel carved into the side of the Himalayas, Azan ran breathless. Behind him, the mountain groaned. Earth itself was changing, quaking, splitting, angry. A metal door slid open. Hands grabbed him and pulled him inside. Close it, a voice shouted. A thick steel wall sealed the tunnel. Azan dropped to the floor, coughing, sweating. His vision blurred, but when it cleared, he saw them. Men and women dressed in white and silver robes, strange symbols on their shoulders, eyes filled with sorrow and hope. You made it, a woman said. Her voice was calm but strong. I am Zora. Welcome to the Ark Keepers. Azan stared, confused. Ark Keepers. She nodded. We are the last line of Earth's protectors. The descendants of those who once hid the Arks, 7 ancient starships buried around the world. They were created in secret, designed not for war, but for escape. Azan stood. One of them. It's real. Zara turned, leading him into a large underground chamber. What he saw made his heart stop. It was a ship. No, a titan made of metal. Half buried in rock and ice, like a sleeping beast. Its surface shimmered with old alien runes. The Ark. This one, she said, is called Samar, the only one we think is still flight-ready. Azan stepped closer. Lights blinked along its edge. Then why haven't we launched it? She sighed. It needs a launch code. A sequence only known to the judges. At the mention of that word, Azan clenched his fists. The enemy. No, Zura said. Not the invaders. The judges came before them. Machines sent to guide humanity. But they became tyrants. Then they were destroyed. Azan said. I read it in the old archives. Most were, she replied. But one crashed years ago. Its memory core might still hold the code we need. Azan nodded. Where is it? Zara walked to a nearby table. A hologram lit up, showing a ruined battlefield somewhere in Siberia. Metal wreckage poked out from the snow. There, she pointed. A fallen judge. If we can get to the core, we may unlock the Ark. The mission team was small, just 5 of them. Azan, Zara, a quiet engineer named Malik, a sniper called Rani, and their pilot, Harun. They took a stealth craft and flew low under alien radar. The skies were cracked like broken glass. Fires burned across continents. Pieces of Earth's crust floated like islands in the sky. As they reached Siberia, the land trembled again. A fault line split beneath them. Harun cursed and pulled up hard, just missing a giant ice shard that exploded from below. We don't have long, Zura said. The planet is tearing itself apart. They landed near the wreck. Snow covered most of it, but enough of the judge's body remained. Azan and Rani moved first, weapons ready. No signs of life, just twisted metal, broken limbs, and wires spilling like blood. There, Zora pointed. The chest cavity. That's where the core is. Malik opened his toolkit. Give me 5 minutes. As he worked, Azan stood guard. What if it wakes up? Malik didn't look up. Then we're all dead. The wind howled louder now. Storms circled above. Lighting cracked through the clouds. Earth's magnetic field was unstable. Nature had gone mad. Suddenly, Rani raised her rifle. Movement. A drone, alien, small but fast, buzzed out from the wreck and flew at them. Rani fired once. It exploded midair. More buzzing. 3 more drones emerged, this time circling high. We're exposed. Haroun shouted, "They'll call reinforcements. We're not leaving without that core." Azan yelled. Malik's hands moved faster. Almost there. Zara stepped beside Azan. "Protect him. I'll help Haroun cover the ship." They moved as a unit, years of resistance training between them. Azan fired at the drones, using short, clean bursts. Rani dropped 2 more, but then a drone fired back. A blue bolt hit Malik in the leg. He screamed but kept working. One more connection. Azan jumped forward, shielding him. Another drone exploded nearby, spraying metal. Malik pulled a glowing cube from the judge's chest. "Got it." They ran back to the ship, carrying Malik. The core pulsed with blue light. As soon as they were inside, Haroun took off. But the moment the ship left the ground, the core beeped. Then again. Zara's eyes widened. "What is it doing?" Malik looked weak but smiled. "Decrypting. I connected a few nodes to wake it up. It should reveal the launch code." He stopped. The core turned red. Then, from its side, a hidden antenna extended. "What is that?" Azan asked. Malik's voice broke. No, it's transmitting." A screen lit up with alien symbols. Zara translated out loud. "Message sent. Galactic beacon active. Earth coordinates locked." Everyone froze. "It's calling them," Rani whispered. Zara stared in horror. The core was not just a key. It was a trap. Haroun gritted his teeth. "So now, every alien in the galaxy knows where we are." Lightning struck again, and the sky turned blood red. Cliffhanger. The children of the void. Flames tore through the sky as black creatures poured out of a glowing tear in reality. These were not the judges. These were worse. Much worse. Deep in the tunnels beneath ruined Earth, Azan felt it before he saw it. A dark chill ran through his veins. The air turned heavy. The signal they sent had called something. Something ancient and terrible. Movement above, called Zara, peering into a cracked surveillance monitor. Her voice shook. "Not judges. These things are different." The group gathered behind her. What they saw was not just another enemy. It was chaos in a living form. Twisting shapes of black matter slid across the ground, crawling like shadows with teeth. Their bodies shifted like smoke but tore through metal like blades. Azan's mind buzzed. A voice, no, a memory, whispered in his head. The Voidborn have returned. The tear in the sky widened. It pulsed like a living wound. From it came the Voidborn, creatures of pure entropy. They didn't walk or fly. They flowed. They consumed. The judges had structure, rules, a strange logic. The Voidborn had none. "They're not here for control," said Marcus, loading his plasma rifle. "They're here to erase us." Outside, the sky dimmed as if the sun itself was afraid. One of the larger creatures melted through a judge patrol, absorbing the machines as if they were nothing. "They're feeding on the judges," Zara gasped. "They're feeding on everything." Azan's head throbbed. The neural link on his wrist sparked. He fell to one knee, gasping. His eyes turned white. The judge core in his hand lit up and merged with his neural system. Then came the vision. In a flash, Azan stood on a different battlefield. The sky was blue, the earth alive, but the war was the same. He wore armor made of light and stone. Around him stood warriors with strange symbols on their arms. The Voidborn were attacking here 2-10,000 years ago. Azan realized he was not just seeing history. He was living it. He swung a glowing blade and shouted orders to his soldiers. His voice in the past was stronger, older. The battle was terrible. The Voidborn screamed like the universe itself was crying. But the warriors pushed them back. They sealed the creatures using powerful technology and sacrifices. One by one, the ancient defenders fell, until only a few remained, Azan among them. The final image burned into his brain. A great prison deep under Earth's crust. A machine, a lock, powered by the life force of the last few warriors. It was buried, forgotten. Until now. Azan woke with a scream. Zara held him. What happened? Are you okay? I saw it all, he whispered. The Voidborn. We fought them before. We stopped them. We paid with our lives. Marcus frowned. We? What do you mean we? I was there, Azan said, his voice trembling. I was one of the warriors who sealed them away. This is not my first war. Silence filled the tunnel. Then Zara stepped back slowly. You're saying you've been reborn? Azan nodded. I think I'm a reincarnation, one of the first prisoners, one of Earth's true defenders. Marcus laughed nervously. That's insane. Is it? Azan asked. How else do you explain the visions? The link with the core? The way I knew how to fight the judges without training? The group stared at him. We triggered the signal, Zara whispered. It didn't just call the judges. It tore open reality. We called the Voidborn back. No, Azan said. We called everyone back. The signal was never meant to free us. It was meant to wake us. Us? Marcus asked. The old warriors, Azan explained. The first prisoners. The ones who gave their lives to protect Earth. Their spirits were trapped, reborn in us. We didn't know it until now. Outside, a Voidborn creature crashed into the tunnel entrance. The wall cracked. Screams echoed through the darkness. We need to move, Zara said, grabbing her rifle. We need to find the machine. Azan replied. The lock. It's still here, buried underground. It's the only way to stop them again. The group moved quickly, following the flashes in Azan's memory. Tunnels twisted and turned. Old metal doors creaked open after thousands of years. Strange symbols on the walls began to glow as Azan passed. They found chambers filled with dust-covered technology, sleeping pods, weapons made of light, ancient control panels. This place is not human, Marcus whispered. At least, not like us. It was human, Azan said, but we were more than we are now. In the heart of the chamber, they found it, the lock, a giant circular machine, pulsing softly, like a heartbeat. Rooms across its surface lit up as Azan approached. I remember now, he said, placing his hand on the panel. We gave our lives to power this. Our energy became the seal. The judges were placed above us as keepers, but they lost their way. They became the jailers, Zara said. And now, with the seal weakening, the Voidborn are free again. Azan closed his eyes. Another vision. He saw himself, dressed in the same armor, leading the final charge against the Voidborn. His face was older but unmistakable. He wasn't just a warrior. He was the commander of the ancient defenders. Suddenly, in the vision, the older Azan turned to face him. You've come back, the old version said. You must finish what we started. Lightning cracked in the distance. The chamber shook. Back in the present, Azan gasped. I saw myself, he whispered. It's real. I was him. I am him. Then the wall exploded. A Voidborn creature entered, taller than the others, glowing with black fire. It looked at Azan and bowed. Not in peace, in recognition. You were their greatest enemy, it said in a voice like thunder. Now, you will be our final test. Doomsday Protocol. Azan held tightly to the edge of the transport ship as it dropped through the ruined crust of the planet. Flames danced below, and the broken mantle cracked like shattered glass, revealing glowing tunnels, ancient, hidden paths lost for millennia. Are you sure this is the right way? Ilara shouted over the roar of lava streams. Azan nodded. The map from the vault confirms it. These tunnels lead to the core. Behind them, Earth was dying. Entire cities burned. The skies were black with smoke. The Voidborn had torn through Asia and were now moving toward Africa and South America. But deep underground, Azan believed lay humanity's final hope, the heart of Earth. The tunnel walls glowed with symbols, ancient carvings left by the precursors, a long-dead civilization that once guarded this world. "This feels like a trap," muttered Karim, gripping his plasma rifle. "No," Azan whispered. This is a grave, but it holds a weapon." While Azan's team descended, the world braced for annihilation. In Paris, tanks rolled through the streets. In Nairobi, children were being evacuated underground. In Tokyo, engineers worked day and night, sending drones into the sky with EMP warheads. General Zara stood on the battlefield outside Istanbul, staring at the night sky. She watched the void ships move like dark thunderclouds. Soldiers around her prepared to die. She tapped her communicator. "To all surviving units, this is it, our last stand. We don't fight for victory. We fight for time." Her voice echoed across the world. Azan and his team finally reached a vast chamber beneath the molten seas of Earth's core. A cooling shield of magnetic force protected the room. Inside, floating above a pit of swirling energy, was the heart of Earth. It wasn't a weapon in the traditional sense. It looked alive. A giant orb with veins of molten gold pulsing through its surface. It was breathing. "What is this?" Ilara whispered, stepping closer. Azan placed his hand on it. A wave of energy surged through him, and visions hit his mind. Visions of the precursors creating this world, not just as a home, but as a trap for the judges in Voidborn. Earth was always the final battlefield. A massive construct of pure energy, the heart of Earth was a planetary failsafe. If activated, it would send a shockwave through the galaxy, destroying all invasive alien technology, including the judges in Voidborn. But it had a cost. "It will destroy Earth," Azan said, voice hollow. "Everything. Everyone." Karim froze. "So what? We destroy ourselves just to kill them." "They will never stop," Azan said. "Even if we push them back, they'll come again. This is the only way to erase them from the stars forever." The alien mothership appeared in orbit, massive, terrifying, with tendrils like dark wings. It sent a message across all channels. A voice like thunder echoed. "Resistance is over. Submit. Your world ends." But then another voice followed. Azan's voice. "This world was not just a home. It's a weapon. And we still have the trigger." People everywhere listened. Some cried. Some laughed in disbelief. But many stood tall. Farmers picked up rifles. Children held hands in bunkers. Old warriors prepared for one last fight. Back in the core, the heart pulsed brighter. Azan stumbled as more visions hit him. He saw the design, how it worked. Ilara grabbed him. "What is it? What's wrong?" "It needs a living conduit," he said slowly. "Someone has to bond with it. Someone has to become the core." No, you can't," she said, panic in her eyes. "If no one does, it won't activate. It needs a mind, a soul, to focus the energy." Karim stepped forward. "Then I'll do it." Azan shook his head. "No, it chose me. It's suicide, Azan." He looked around at his team, at the people who had followed him through hell. "And what happens if I don't?" "Everyone dies anyway." The orb's glow intensified, casting golden light across the room. On the surface, the first Voidborn Titan landed in New Delhi, a 10-story monster of bone and shadow. Tanks fired, jets screamed overhead, and soldiers launched everything they had. The creature crushed entire buildings with one step. In America, a fleet of judges descended on Washington, D.C. They moved with surgical precision, erasing all defenses. In Australia, a void-born swarm blackened the skies. And still, humans fought. In Lahore, an old woman held a rifle beside her son. In Cairo, a mechanic turned his garage into a command center. In Seoul, teenagers launched homemade drones. Everyone was fighting. Everyone was waiting for something. Azan stood before the heart of Earth, flames swirling around him, his skin glowing with energy. Ilara touched his arm. There has to be another way. There isn't. This was always meant to happen. He stepped into the light. It enveloped him. His heartbeat synced with the pulse of the orb. Memories, fears, hopes, everything human flooded into the heart. The chamber rumbled. The planet shook. Karim fell to his knees. He's doing it. Then, silence. The orb dimmed. The energy stopped. Ilara screamed, "No, Azan." But then, the orb glowed again, this time brighter, fiercer, alive. Azan's voice echoed, not with fear, but power. "I am the heart now." And then the screen went black. The reckoning begins. The sky was burning. Fire rained from the heavens as the battle for Earth reached its final stage. Cities lay in ruins. The air trembled with every explosion. The surface had become a living nightmare, a war zone between three unstoppable forces. The judges, tall armored giants with glowing runes, marched in from the east. Their weapons bent reality itself. The Voidborn, twisted alien beasts from another dimension, poured in from torn skies and deep fissures. And humans, fragile but unyielding, fought with everything they had left. At the center of this chaos stood Azan, his body shaking, eyes glowing bright blue. He was inside the ruined heart of Earth, a massive alien core buried beneath the crust, a forgotten relic from a time before time. All systems had failed, except one. The core had responded not to command codes or judge technology, but to Azan's will, to his human soul. Above the surface, jets screamed across the sky, firing at the endless Voidborn swarms. Tanks rolled through shattered streets. Soldiers, dirty, wounded, and tired, held the lines not with hope, but with fury. "We hold the gate until Azan fires the core," shouted Commander Lyra, covered in blood but still fighting. "We don't fall back. Not today." A dozen Voidborn leaped from a broken skyscraper, their claws sliced through steel. Lyra pulled her grenade and detonated herself with the beasts, her final sacrifice. Below the ground, Azan felt her death. The heart of Earth was now one with him. It didn't just hear his thoughts, it felt his pain. "I won't let her die for nothing," he whispered. His hands hovered above the final control. A panel pulsing with light. His heart raced. The reckoning wasn't just about destruction. It was rebirth or extinction. The heart of Earth spoke in pulses, not words, strange signals and frequencies. But Azan understood now. This machine had been built to protect Earth long ago, by someone, or something, that had known this war would come. The judges had tried to use it. The Voidborn had tried to destroy it. But the machine had waited for one thing, a human heart filled with hope and rage. Azan closed his eyes. He saw everything. Every city, every dying scream, every child hiding underground. He felt the earth itself, crying beneath the war. He raised his hand. Fire. The heart of Earth exploded with energy. A beam of light shot straight up into the sky. It pierced clouds, space, and beyond. All across the planet, giant towers hidden under mountains and oceans activated. Ancient judge tech merged with Earth's core systems. From these towers came waves, not of heat or radiation, but dimensional correction. The Voidborn screamed as their portals collapsed. Rifts in the sky closed like wounds healing instantly. Their bodies began to disintegrate, atom by atom. Even the ones in midair vanished into dust. In seconds, half the Voidborn army was gone. The machines built by traitorous judges also shattered. Their armor cracked. Their AI systems fried. One by one, they fell like broken toys. The reckoning had begun. But Azan's victory wasn't complete, because in the blackened sky, beyond the falling fire and light, something moved. A queen. Tall, terrifying, beautiful in a monstrous way, floated through the clouds. The Voidborn Queen. Her body shifted between shapes: woman, beast, shadow, and light. Her voice echoed inside Azan's mind. "You think this ends me, child? You are nothing but dust screaming at the storm." She ignored the reckoning's energy. It burned her skin, but not her soul. "I will tear your mind apart, and then I will consume what's left of your precious earth." Suddenly, Azan couldn't breathe. He wasn't in the heart anymore. He was inside his own mind. But it wasn't just his anymore. The Queen had entered. All around him, memories twisted. His father's face turned into a Voidborn's mouth. His mother's lullaby became a scream. The tunnels where he hid as a child were filled with blood. "You can't win," she whispered. "You are weak." Azan fell to his knees, clutching his head. But from the darkness, a voice rose. Not hers. "Stand up, son." It was his father's voice, clear and strong. One by one, the Queen's illusions broke. His memories returned to normal. His heart grew steady. The Queen didn't understand. She fed on fear and pain, but humans didn't just break. They rebuilt. "You're wrong," Azan said. "I'm not alone." In the real world, Azan's body lit up again. The heart of Earth pulsed harder, brighter than before. The light that came from it wasn't a beam anymore. It was a shockwave of pure willpower. It tore through the ground, sky, and space, a wave of energy built from billions of human dreams and losses. The Queen screamed as the wave hit her. She twisted, burned, collapsed, and vanished into nothing. Azan fell backward, unconscious. Silence. Darkness. Then, stars. Azan opened his eyes slowly. He was floating. Not falling, not flying, just floating in empty space. Beneath him was Earth, but it was shattered. Not destroyed, but broken, like a mirror cracked into many pieces. Huge pieces of the planet were still holding together, but others had drifted apart. Glowing softly in space, the atmosphere was bleeding into the void. Oceans floated like ribbons between the fragments. Fires still burned on the larger chunks. What happened?" Azan whispered. Then he looked up. Far above Earth, something was forming. Not a creature, not a machine, but something new. A shape made of light and shadow, taking form from the Queen's last scream. And it was looking directly at him. This is not over. The reckoning was only the beginning. The last spark of humanity. The planet is dead. But humanity isn't. The Earth was no more. Where oceans once danced under sunlight, there was only dust and broken rock. The sky that had once held the dreams of billions was now a silent graveyard of ash. The Judge had destroyed everything. But it had missed one thing. The Ark. A giant silver vessel moved silently through space. It was humanity's last hope. Inside it, 100,000 survivors slept in cryo chambers, kept alive by machines and hope. They had escaped just moments before Earth fell apart. And now they traveled across the stars, searching for a second chance. At the heart of the Ark, something stirred. Azan, or what remained of him. He was no longer fully human. Half of his body was gone, replaced by alien tech, wires, circuits, strange lights pulsing beneath his skin. He had merged with the Judge's system, not by choice, but by fate. His mind was sharp, clear, connected to something bigger, the knowledge of the enemy. Their weakness, their origin, their fear. He opened his eyes, silver and glowing. He wasn't alone. The Ark's AI greeted him softly. "Azan, you are awake." He replied, voice calm, yet full of something fierce. "How long?" 2 months. Earth is gone. But we are moving toward a Class M planet, Kepler 62. It may support life. He stood slowly. Pain echoed through his machine limbs, but he ignored it. There was something stronger inside him. Purpose. Deep space, The Ark travels silently through a field of broken planets. Azan walked through the control chamber. Screens flickered with data, and he could feel the Ark now, like a part of his own body. The judge's system had become a bridge, a gift hidden in a curse. He accessed the data streams, searching for any signs of the enemy. Nothing. Just silence. But silence was dangerous. It meant the enemy was watching, waiting. Then he found it. A faint energy pulse. Not near them, but far away, in another galaxy. The judge had not been alone. There were others. Whole networks of machines, spread like a virus. Earth was just one of many. He stared at the map, jaw tight. They think they've won. Behind him, a voice whispered. It was soft, female, the voice of the AI. "We have one last message to send, Commander Azan." He nodded. He knew what to say. Azan sat before the camera. His face was scared. Metal fused with skin. But his eyes still burned with the fire of a human soul. He pressed the button and began. "This is Azan, survivor of Earth. The judge has taken our planet, but not our spirit. We carry with us the memories of billions. We are not done. We remember, and we will return." He ended the message, staring into the lens. A promise burned in his heart. The promise of revenge. Azan walked past the cryo chambers. He looked at the sleeping faces, old, young, injured, brave. The last spark of humanity. And he felt something heavy in his chest. Responsibility. He thought of his mother, lost in the tunnels. He thought of Zoya, who gave her life to help him escape. He thought of Rihan, who fought till his last breath. Every sacrifice had brought them here. Every death had meaning. He touched the glass of a chamber. "I will protect you all, until my last breath." Flashes of Earth, children running in the streets, people hiding in tunnels, explosions in the sky. Zoya's final smile, the judge's cold stare, Azan screaming as his body burned. Then silence. Back to present, his hand trembling but his eyes steady. The Ark approached Kepler 62. Blue oceans, green lands, clouds. It was beautiful. Hope. "Atmosphere is breathable," the AI said. "Landing protocols engage." The Ark began its descent, breaking through the clouds, heading toward a vast valley surrounded by mountains. Azan watched it all, silent. As the Ark landed, he stood at the front, ready. The doors of the Ark opened. The first team stepped out. Scientists, engineers, farmers. They planted the first flag, not of a country, but of Earth, of unity. They began building shelters, testing soil, planting seeds. A new beginning. But Azan did not join them. Not yet. He stood on a high ridge, staring into the sky. His body glowed faintly with energy. His mind was always scanning, listening for the enemy. Then, something changed. The Ark's communication dish beeped. Incoming transmission. From deep space. He opened it. A single symbol appeared. It was not human. It was not from the judge either. Something else was out there. Watching. "We received your message." Azan narrowed his eyes. "Who are you?" "We are the reckoning. And we remember too." Far away, across galaxies, another planet glowed red with energy. Strange towers rose into the clouds. Creatures, part machine, part organic, marched in silence. They had seen the signal. They knew humanity had survived. And they would prepare for war or for alliance. No one could say. But one thing was clear. The story wasn't over. Not yet. We are not done. We remember, and we will return. FADE out.